Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I'm Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon,
Maximus Shans,
Ataraxia Kalian,
and Buster Bilgewater.
It wouldn't be a good D&D adventure without goats all around you, surrounding you, 24 goats, in fact, as the adventurers crept towards the home of the witch. Now, these goats did provide a little bit of information about how much they enjoy food, love food, and asked Max for food itself. But as they were having this conversation, two figures left the witch's hut, and as one slunk off into the forest, clutching something in their hands, the witch herself, a disguised Griselda, I should say a disguised hag, approached, talking and trying to communicate with them about her intentions and strike up a conversation. Ataraxia having none of that, though. With a job to do and trying to see it done as a good captain and as a good hero of this town, cast hideous laughter against her, which, as I think of the description, should be right up a hag's wheelhouse of not having to affect her, but it did, and she fell to the floor, being completely bound by the party here, and failing a second Zone of Truth spell being cast, is now forced to tell the truth or not speak at all to our adventurers here. And that is where we join everybody on I Cast Fireball. So, Ataraxia, you are leading the party right now in the capture of this hag Griselda. This hideous form, as her clothes are massively unkempt with gaping holes. You see boils on her legs that are pussing and even pulsing a little bit, as there is just a massive, disgusting features upon her body and her face. Her crooked nose bends down long, almost like a beak, over her mouth as she is bound, but you can tell she is grinning beneath it. What do you guys do?
I kind of lean in close to Griselda and I say, hey, we'd like to ask you some questions. I suggest that you listen to us and don't try and do anything tricky.
Don't take the gag out. Don't take the gag out. Don't take.
Are you casting suggestion?
I'm casting suggestion. I suggest that you comply with our questioning and don't try and do anything tricky if we take this gag out of your mouth.
Don't take the gag out though. We don't have to though, right? Like we don't have to take the gag out.
We can't get answers.
We could ask yes or no questions where she has to nod.
Yeah,
or
that's
give.
true.
Well, but can't Max just talk to her mind?
I can talk to her.
Well,
she can't talk back.
That doesn't mean she's compelled to respond to us. So I suggest that you answer our questions and don't try and do anything tricky.
It's smart. What's the saving throw?
DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
She got a 17.
17, well, silvery barbs.
All right. 14.
There we go.
All right.
That's what's up. I'm out of first level spell slots.
How long does that last?
Guys!
How long does suggestion?
That lasts for 8 hours.
Wow.
Guys!
So
10
she won't
minutes.
be tricky when we take the gag off. We're trying it out.
And she will answer questions.
Wow.
So,
Listen, I can't kill anything, but I am very good at a specific set of things.
she's a very
I have a
specific set
particular
of
set of
skills.
skills.
Everybody.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, as you see the magic come over her, she begrudgingly nods her head and sort of looks down at her gag and looks back at you.
I say we start with yes or no questions before we try and take off this gag here.
You got 10 minutes. I will
Start a clock, real time.
I will start a clock real time.
Real time?
Boom.
Captain. Quick.
Yes.
Quick idea. I don't think we need all four of us involved in this exchange of words. Could I possibly go with, if I might suggest, if you're interested, Buster, to possibly explore her domicile.
Get some loot? That sounds cool to me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Yeah, I can cast detect magic again.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, we'll hop to it.
Be careful, guys. Okay, don't trust anything that this creature says.
But you can, because I cast Sword of Truth, so, I mean, a little bit.
And also we have suggestions. So ideally, if the DM is playing according to the rules, then we can trust everything that she says.
All right.
You can expect me to mostly play by the rules here. Probably a good 80%.
I will cast detect magic once again.
All right. Boy, howdy. There's magic in that hut. There's a lot.
Boy, howdy ho.
There is so much.
Any dangerous magic, like magic that's like warding or...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. There's some necrotic stuff right on her door.
Necrotic stuff on her door?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I cast Mage Hand to open the door.
Mm-hmm. As you cast Mage Hand, as the door creaks open, there is just a thin layer of mist just goes not far, not towards you. You guys are away, but mist just and starts to slowly fall to the ground. And as you do that, a butterfly flies right through it, and then all of a sudden just is no longer there.
Does the magic dissipate, or is it still just residing?
It's drifting to the ground.
I can
so it is going
I can do a smaller gust of wind to just blow it out the window, maybe.
Yeah, so you blow it away as the door is open. Yep. And you're like, don't touch the door. Got it. And you go in. While you walk in safely at this point into the hut, we'll go back to the questions.
All right. What do we ask? All right. What are the terms of the deal that you have going on with the people down there on the beach?
And the gag is off, right?
No. Captain, maybe we should start with some yes or no questions.
Yes or no questions. That's right. Are you taking advantage of those people down on the beach?
She looks at you, blinks, and she kind of like head back and forth and kind of like slowly nods her head, but like...
Yeah. I mean, if
it
you
has
had
a lot
to
of
think about
facial
it,
expressions.
If you had to think about it, it's a yes. Is there any way that we could get rid of this sort of situation, this deal that you have going on with those people down there?
And she nods her head, yes.
Captain, I might have just a moment of your time. Do you know how close the spell limit is on this? Like the time? I'm not a spellcaster. I don't know how magic works. Do you know when it's gonna end?
We got 8 hours.
The suggestion.
8 hours for suggestion, 10 minutes for zone of truth.
Because if she's compelled to answer our questions,
she has to be truthful in 10
and
minutes.
not do anything tricky.
And not do anything tricky, right? That at least for 8 hours we should be able to trust her without our gag.
Even if she may be lying, right? Yeah.
Right. Ignis, begrudgingly, will kneel down and remove the gag and try to be conscious of the 10 minutes, even though it's hard to gauge 10 minutes. Try to be cognizant of that. And while Ataraxia is continuing to ask questions, she's going to round up the nearest 3 goats and bring them close for insurance.
As you take the gag off her, she goes,
Thank you, you disgusting creature, for releasing that gag. Well, I believe you have cornered me into a agreeable position for yourselves.
her voice changing with the illusion being gone, right?
Hey, you're not the only fey creature here.
And I do respect that. We do come from the same realm here.
Yeah.
So, what else can I do for you as I am bound
Yeah, how do we get rid of the deal that the people down on the beach have with you?
Well, I wasn't fully lying. They do come to me quite frequently and ask for favors. They do it in secret, for I believe they're embarrassed to be associating with me while they publicly cry out for my demise. But I was here first. The 3 captains originally came here, and they found me, and they were afraid of what I could do, as you probably are aware.
Rightly so.
Yes, they feared me. But I told them I could help them, and I have deliciously done so throughout the years.
So, all right, well, I think we need to bring the stuff that you took from them. I know it's this commerce thing. Here's what I think. There's got to be a way for us to live in kind of more peace and harmony, perhaps, unless the lieutenant wants to just take the less harmonious route.
Well, you may be able to defeat me, and you may be able to kill me. That is one solution here. But I can say my sisters probably wouldn't be so appreciative of me being destroyed in that manner.
Yeah, where are they?
Oh, well, since I must be honest and agreeable, they are not with me. I am not part of a coven now.
Family
But-
problems?
Well, I won't go into it. I imagine you wouldn't want me to spend all 10 minutes talking about my history and lineage, but...
I mean, Ned would like you to, but for the interest of this spell.
Yes, you have to pick and choose exactly, don't you?
Yeah.
I will say something.
What are the specifics of the boon that he has with the people down there? What are the offerings and stuff?
Yeah, what are like the specifics of the term, like the terms and conditions of this deal?
Well, they usually, they bring me a bunch of gold every month and just riches that they've plundered, which I can use, but it's not nearly so much fun. I just hold on to it because they have to work so hard to bring it to me, and I just give them crazy amounts, and they just happen to bring it to me. So at this point, Max and Buster, you walk in, and in this shack, there's 2 rooms. There's the main room with a bunch of like occult items, and then there's another room in the back with just a crap ton of gold. Just crap ton that seemed to have just been brought over and over and over and over for months and possibly even years. That you're like, what? What? You would have thought that she'd had to use it, but it doesn't seem like she's been using any of it.
So, jackpot.
Yes.
Detect magic is up, and that gold is definitely got something emanating from it.
She's put something on all the gold.
Oh, she's protecting it. Do you have, by chance, any spells that dispel magic?
No.
Yep.
I'm more interested in finding and in understanding than I am in.
Now, there's a ton of occult stuff in this room. For the sake of the questions and the time, though, I think we'll get to the very specifics in the room after some of this initial line of questioning, if that's all right with you guys. And we'll jump back to Ataraxia and Ignis here. Don't worry, I've kept track of the time of how much we've jumped back and forth, so no worries.
All right. So what happens to the people down there on the beach if they don't bring you this tribute?
They've never not. I mean, probably I probably would just come scare them, spook them, and maybe take like 1 or 2 of them away and do something with them.
Something with them, you say?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I haven't had to think that far ahead, really.
Oh yeah, play a nice game of Parcheesi or something. Something very
I mean-
innocuous and demure.
Probably at first. I mean, I do get kind of bored. That's why. So I've got a bunch of goats around here to keep me company.
Are the goats going to miss you?
No, probably not. I don't plan to leave anytime soon, though, so...
You wouldn't be planning to leave anytime soon, that's correct. Do you know anything about Archfey curses by any chance?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, I do. In fact, I can absolutely pick up the vibe of what's going on right here.
Yeah, are you able to pick up the vibe of who has placed this curse upon me by any chance?
I may be able to suss it out, but,
Suss away.
I can't do it right now. I'm bound. I need to actually perform my magics and look into it, and I'm not going to do something like that for free.
What would that cost us?
Oh, I'm sure we could figure something out. I wouldn't take your life, or unless
You're into that.
that's something you're into.
Oh my
No, that would be something we could discuss. I'm not a monster, you might say. What would it benefit me if you died with me giving you this information as well?
Estimate it for us. What are you talking about? Are you talking gold? Are you talking items? What are you talking about?
Well, Thomas knows.
All right.
I mean, we could come up with some attractive offers. I mean, do you want to brainstorm about it right here, right now? I could give you a few
No,
items.
I want you to tell me.
I'm open to negotiations.
How about a big
it's
goat's
not all
head?
straightforward. A big goat's head is a good start to get me back in favor with us, with you binding me and gagging me, putting me under your spells. Very clever, very tricky, but I don't like it.
That's understandable. Lieutenant, you got any other questions?
If I may ask a question, what is the deal with your dragonborn friend over there?
I do not. I have no idea. I failed.
I don't know.
I failed the wisdom saving throw for the zone of truth. I am being 100% honest with you.
I know you have some Fey stuff, but I was picking a little bit of Fey stuff up from him as well. And I was hoping I could help him, actually.
Hey, Max, do you want any help from a hag?
Shoot! just like I found
Drops
like a
stuff.
bowl of something. I'm like, what's this? Oh no!
And then as soon as you drop it, just like 3 like wispy smoke goes up and goes.
Finally into the stratosphere.
The day of reckoning is at hand. Having the day.
Give me a second.
What would that cost us, hag?
Well, that would be between me and him if you really wanted any help. I'm sorry, you are just so disgusting to look at.
She failed the wisdom saving throw. I'm sorry.
I could improve you if you would like, make you more pleasant to look upon.
How rude. She throws her beautiful red hair over her shoulder.
I probably would say this even if I weren't in a zone of truth right now. I mean, to be honest, I've never liked your kind.
Satyrs?
It's the feet. It's the feet, isn't it? It's the feet, right?
Too proud.
It's the feet, right?
The feet get you.
Sorry, I just had to. I know I'm not there. I just had to.
Do you mean the captain's any harm? The captains or their crew?
Well, I
Or are
definitely...
you just here for boons?
I definitely get a kick out of their suffering, that's for sure. You might say it fuels me. Oh, you've got about a minute left. What else are you going to ask?
I mean, there's nothing we can do here. It's all enchanted. Like we run too much of a risk.
Well, I'm waiting for the nerdy man in the corner to tell me what things we could.
Yeah. No, Buster is like not gonna waste his time messing with
Dead stuff.
I'm going to just poke my head in the door real quick and be like, hey, guys, any questions for the hag?
Yeah, is she gonna fight us?
Yeah, who's the guy? Who's the guy who was just here?
Yeah, who's the guy who was just here?
Well, he's somebody who's come to me from time to time. He's from the village, of course. You might say he is He's a bit poor.
Is he a
He's
captain?
the third captain.
Is that Sweet William Poor? Sweet Wilhelm Poor? That guy?
Clever. Your Fey heritage suits
Yeah.
you well, Satyr.
Yeah, interesting. That's good to know.
What did he want?
Oh, if you die, does all the magic on the gold go away?
Oh my gosh.
That's a good question. That's a
The
great
gold.
question for Zone of Truth.
Yeah, I already asked him a question. Take that one for Buster.
Always worried about your riches, are you, Harrigan?
I mean, technically they're yours, but I am interested.
Well, some of my magic does go away when I die. But
And at that, she like looks up, and Max, you know that your timer for the Zone of Truth has dissipated.
But she still has
I just have
suggestion.
to say,
She still has suggestion, but she may lie.
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to turn to Max and I'm going to say, the hag wanted to make you an offer if you're interested in speaking. I want to chat with the lieutenant about something real quick. And as I pull Ignis aside, I turn to Buster and say, keep an eye on Max. Don't let anything crazy happen.
What about the hag?
If the hag tries to do anything weird, you can make fire happen.
You can
Okay.
make fire happen.
Agnes will hand Buster the gag that she had been using, in case he would prefer to have her gagged again.
I don't know that Buster wants to get near her in that respect.
That's fine. She hands him the gag.
Max will approach her. I was told you wanted to speak with me.
yes.
And at that, she actually gets quiet and just starts squinting her eyes and looking at you, leaning towards you. I mean, how close do you let her get to you? Because she's going to get as close as she can and squint her eyes and goes,
You wouldn't allow me to hold your hand, would you?
Probably not.
I wouldn't think so. I'll see what I can pick up from here, though.
and she is kind of like exhaling, and then all of a sudden she goes,
You've always considered yourself pretty lucky, haven't you?
I would say that I've had good times.
Have you ever been called a thief before?
as she kind of stares at you and smiles.
I mean, well, I am a pirate.
Well, I think maybe you might have been called the wrong profession. You might have been known as a rogue in another life.
With that, Max kind of straightens up a little bit and he's like, speak plain for what you want.
Oh, and she starts cackling.
I thought I knew it. I thought.
Don't let her get under your skin, Max. Listen, like the...
I have scales. Not skin.
just straight. I have
Yeah.
scales.
Good. All right. Good. Listen, I used to be a farmer, so who cares whatever we used to be?
I could offer you, Dragonborn, another chance, perhaps.
As she licks her teeth, her disgusting yellow teeth, her tongue bulbous and overly large, dragging across them.
I could present you with another opportunity.
I asked you to speak plain. I won't ask it again.
I can speak as plain as you like. In front of your friends, in front of those that you might wish to keep this a secret from.
Max will like think to himself for a second and he'll be like, I don't have secrets for those who ask the right questions. So don't feel like you can hold that over me, hag.
I have a few cards of my own.
With that, Max will just probably, I mean, he's shouted before in battle, but he will very strongly raise his voice and he'll say, that is not your fate to twist.
Whoa, hey, Max. Hey, easy. She's tied up, okay? We're like, don't... You're letting her get under your scales. Okay? Tilt them back to level, please. Scales. Get it? Scales.
He'll say one more thing to the hag. Yeah. He'll say, I've already been tricked in a trade once. Hag.
And I'm presenting you with an opportunity to balance those scales if you consider yourself to have that same luck.
Nothing to what you give is balanced. And he'll kind of stand up and just decide to step back from the conversation. Not leave, but kind of show in body language that line of questioning is done.
And with that, she'll turn to Buster, just giggling to herself.
Such delicious misery. Oh, so delightful. Now what can I get from you Aragon? Gold? Is that really your main ambition?
What's your ambition? To find a new smell?
She looked into his heart and found him wanting. That's
Listen.
so funny.
This is, I'm good. I'm good, all right? Listen, whatever you're selling, it's not doing wonders for this tree. So I've seen people keep land, and this is not how you do it.
Yes, you probably, I would say from your appearance, probably a lowly farmer family. Escaped from the profession, maybe. One who grew up without much and more want than substance. Is that why you seek for gold?
What? More? I had plenty of substance growing up. You don't need to know about how I grew up. Listen, I have a gag. I'm gonna gag you if this is gonna keep. I know you're not under the zone of truth. He'll kind of kneel down a little bit, like hold his staff, and to be kind of eye level with her there, like kind of to the ground, and he'll say like, but you're still kind of amicable, right? Like.
Oh, yes, I'm still under the suggestion.
What are the chances of us leaving your home without being harried by you or any of your weird magics?
Well, you have barely entered my home, but you haven't triggered much in there. You could probably leave.
And she just looks back at you.
But I could probably still find you.
So you feed on misery, and you love goats. What's your deal with goats?
They really keep me company.
Are they just goats?
And she like tilts her head back and forth.
Should I tell you truthfully?
Hold on. You've gleaned things about us, right?
Well, I would be a poor sister or auntie, if you will, if I could.
Max took a step away, right?
Max is still there.
He's near.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
He's
right
in
within the
earshot,
vicinity,
so. But if you're like 2 feet from her,
Trying to.
he might be able to hear you.
Try to-
He's very perceptive.
I will
but
try
no.
to say this in a hushed voice just because I'm insatiably curious. What was that about cards with Max?
Oh, do you like to play cards? For I have a deck that could change your life.
No.
Doesn't have to be the whole deck. It could just be one single card.
What do you know about dice?
Dice? Pff, I don't deal in those trivial, random mathematical contraptions. Much prefer bones myself.
Yeah, dice are the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
I don't know that we're gonna. Listen, Max. I'm half a mind we just attack her. If I'm being honest.
One, I think that's the captain's call. Two, for all of her tricksy ways, she's actually exactly what she says she is. It just depends on the will of the person dealing with her, if they let her get advantage or not.
Why?
And I apologize. Real quick, I'll interject here. Ataraxia and Ignis, I apologize. I have not gotten to you here. Let's get back to you as we've had this super long conversation here.
Yeah, I'm pulling the lieutenant aside, and when we get far enough away to be out of earshot of the hag, I say, regardless of whatever benefit we might be able to gain from dealing with this hag, we have opened a loose thread in the realm of the Fae, and if we don't tie up that loose thread right now, it's going to come back to bite us.
By doing what? What do you mean?
She said even though she's not part of a coven right now, she's got sisters, and we have entered into a bad relationship with this hag. If we leave and let her get a chance to get back to her sisters, we're not going to have to deal with just one hag.
We haven't done anything to her.
We tied her up.
I mean, we tied her up.
Cast
That's a little
spells on her.
rude, but it's not something... We didn't attack her. She's not dead. I didn't kill any of her goats yet. We could just leave.
Hags don't need a reason.
She has plenty of people to annoy and cause mayhem and gain whatever advantage she needs to on the beach. What do we owe them? If she's got the power and she's able to do it, why should she not be allowed to do that?
Well, here's the thing. Even though she has plenty of people down there on the beach that she can feed off of the misery and the suffering of, none of them managed to best her. Her ego has been bruised, and we're the ones who bruised it.
So you're saying you want to take her out?
I'm saying if we don't take her out, this is not going to be the end of it. That is my word.
I'm always down for a fight, Captain.
And I...
But, Captain,
Lieutenant,
is there information you want to get from her? Do you want to find out about what's going on with you and what's going on? She mentioned Max. I mean, if she's making deals, maybe we should take a deal and then kill her.
listen, I would love to get information, but I have enough stains on my soul right now.
Aye. So what do you want to do?
We gotta kill this hag, Lieutenant. We gotta kill this hag.
Let's go back. Let's gag her. And then let's attack her.
Yeah, we can find answers somewhere else.
Are you sure? It might be a very long time before we find some more answers.
I mean, it might be a very long time, but it's going to be an even longer time that I have yet another millstone hung about my neck because of another dealing with a tricky Fae being. So I think I'll be all right.
All right. Let's do it.
Thomas, I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself one more time because it only lasts 10 minutes, and so that...
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm always down to kill a hag.
Have you killed many hags?
But I'm always down.
I'm always
for it.
down to kill a hag.
Yeah, I look and see Buster and Max looking, taking these aggressive postures and stances, and I'm like, I think we are of one mind here.
It seems you've made up your mind about me. I certainly made up my mind about you, but I can promise each of you,
As she looks to each of you,
I could bring you immense power, wealth, control,
or even as she stares at Max,
restore the balance in your life.
Captain, your call, but is there any truth to what she's saying that if we tie up this loose thread, we might be unraveling a lot more that could come back to us later?
Well, we know that there's a loose end right now, and if we don't tie up that loose end, it's a question of maybe there'll be loose ends if we do, but maybe there won't be loose ends if we do. But there is going to be a loose end if we don't.
It was the same with Plug.
Fair enough. I shoot her.
The gag! The gag! Gang it, the gag!
let's roll for initiative. All right, Ataraxia.
11.
Buster.
I think 11 as well. Yeah.
Ignis.
21.
21. Max.
13.
13. Let me roll for this hag, because she is tricky. She got an 8. Buster, do you want to go before Ataraxia or after? I guess you two.
What's your dex?
My dex is 12.
Mine's 14. I'll go first.
Yeah, you're a little bit more jumpy than Ataraxia.
All right. So, Max, you're going to initiate the combat here, but rules as written. Ignis technically gets to go first, and then we will get to your actions based off of what she does. She is bound still. Ignis, do you do anything?
Okay. Ignis, knowing that she just talked to the captain about wanting to attack, and that's everybody's intention, and seeing Max raise his crossbow and level it at the witch, Ignis will reach over and grab the gag out of Buster's hand and jump forward and try to grapple the witch, like gag the witch and grapple her. So the first attack to gag and the second is to grapple. So no damage, but to have double two things happen. Is that...
Sure. Yeah, let's say you grapple her first and then try to do the gag, or do
Sure.
you want to do the gag first?
I don't know that it matters. Does it?
Okay. I don't know. Go ahead and grapple.
Great. That's my athletics versus your acrobatics, and my athletics was 19.
No roll with disadvantage. She is bound. Wow. That's a 2.
Great. And then she's grappled with a... Well, that's not very good. That's only a 7.
All right. She, as you try to gag her, she goes,
You're really trying to attempt this? You trying to attempt me? Girl, I don't want your disgusting skin on my body. Get off, get off. Get away. And of course, you're going to shoot me now, aren't you?
And Max, she looks at you. It's your
No, I
turn.
gagged her. I couldn't grapple her.
Oh, that's
I
what it was.
gagged her first, and then I grappled her.
Okay,
She said
sounds
all
good.
of that in her mind.
So, against the gag. And knowing that she
Subtext.
just hates it, Ignis will just put her face against the hags and go...
And she goes, but it is quite gross to you, Ignis, as well. Max, go for it.
Bonus action, Slayer's Prey.
And this is the weird thing in D&D, because she's prone, you technically have disadvantage. Unless, wait, crossbow expert. Do you get disadvantage?
Yeah, so... Oh, gosh, yeah, this is... To the book!
This is a weird rule
Crossbow
thing.
expert is just I don't have disadvantage if I'm 5 feet within a hostile creature.
You could get 5 feet within her. The weird thing is, if a creature is prone, all ranged attacks are with disadvantage regardless. It's like because they're taking more cover on the ground. I'll say you can get 5 feet within her, so you don't get disadvantage because, yeah, she's prone, but like you're within 5 feet of her, and you have a feat to get that. So no disadvantage, just regular roll.
Okay.
Just do that.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Unnecessary crunch squad, everybody.
Here we go. First attack is a 26.
Oh, it's a hit.
Yep. And then, just double checking. So I'm going to add an extra d6 to this first damage.
And while you're doing that, Ned, what's the saving throw for suggestion? Is it a saving throw if she gets attacked?
As soon as she takes damage from me or one of my companions, then it's dropped.
Okay, so it'll just drop automatically, which she knows happening. She's self-aware.
Okay, so here's the specific wording on the prone condition. An attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. Typically, a ranged attack has disadvantage within 5 feet, but because of the crossbow expert, then he doesn't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And are we also, because she's bound, are we calling her restrained or grappled?
Oh, restrained, because attack rolls
Technically-
against a restrained creature have advantage, and their attack rolls have disadvantage.
Correct.
Okay.
And they have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, which you already did, so...
Roll for advantage.
Yeah, roll with advantage, see if you get a 20.
It's not a 20.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
You hit her.
This first one is going to be 14 damage.
Ooh, 14 damage to her. It hurts.
And then the second one gets advantage as well because I have 2 attacks.
Yep. She is not happy. She is seething right now.
First each turn you hit. Okay, so this next one doesn't get the d6. It's only the first time I hit something on a turn. That's going to be same roll, 26 to hit.
Oof, go for it.
All right. That's just with the 10. It's going to be 7 damage. 7 damage.
7. Whew, okay. 21 points of damage in a round. Good. As you attack her, and she cries through the muffled gag and more screams than anything as it's muffled, you actually hear a rumbling come from the hut. And it is a large rumbling, but it's Buster, it's very familiar. It sounds like gold. And
Is
then
it a gold golem?
Golem.
Oh, no. Dang
coming out of the hut is a gold golem.
Ah, why? Why?
Because we could have just left her alone.
We wanted to tie up the loose threads.
I don't think it was necessary.
Here, I'm ready to deal with hags. I'm not ready to deal with a giant pile of moving metal.
Well, it's
We
already
kill her
happened.
and the golem's
Especially because
done.
we are so low on spell slots.
Max, it's still your turn technically. You did an action, right?
Yeesh. I did action, bonus action. I mean, all I can do is move. How tall is the gold golem?
Gold golem's a medium creature, so we'll say about 7 to 8 feet.
Could I use my movement to climb the tree?
Yes, it'd be half movement, but yes.
Gotcha. Dang it, we're not level
Unless you have a
6.
climb speed.
No, we're not level 6, so nope. No, that's not worth it. I'm just going to back up towards the tree, though.
Okay, sounds good. You back up to the tree, the base of the tree, ready as this gold golem approaches. Great. It's the golem's turn.
Oh boy.
The golem looks at you with 2 bright red rubies for eyes, looks down and sees that the hag is in trouble, and the gold shifts to make a frowny face, like, looks at you, and then 2 eyebrows, the gold shifts to make 2 slanting eyebrows over its ruby eyes, like, I'm angry now, and it's gonna... And it is going to attack the first person it sees, which is a tie between Ignis and Max. I'll say 1 through 3 is Ignis, 4 through 6 is Max. That's a 4. All right. So Max is coming for you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It gets to you. It lifts its hand just like as soon as it starts leaving, and it's very barbaric, like it's fighting. It doesn't like move normally. It just, with its hand raised, and it gets you and goes, BAM! And it does a slam attack against you. First one being a 19 to hit.
What kind of creature is this?
This is a golem. It is a construct, technically.
Okay. Not an elemental or an aberration.
But 19 to hit for you, sir.
Okay. 19 hits.
All right, 19 hits. I'm going to do some damage here. I will say this is not as powerful as a golem because she's not part of a coven right now, so she couldn't get the full strength. But here we go. That is going to be, oh wow, 24 points of damage.
Holy- I don't feel better. Wow.
And then it is going to make a second attack against you.
Just a second.
Okay, here we go. That is a 21 to hit.
Silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs, okay. So rolling again. Yep, that is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Darn.
Oh my gosh. No joke, I got a 1 and a 3 on my
Wow.
2d12.
Oh,
boy.
So what's
So
the total there?
adding to that, though, it's going to be 6.
Okay.
So the first one's just BAM! And then the second one, you kind of dodge out of the way, and it splinters a lot of the tree bark behind you. And you're, "Ah!" So that is its turn.
Cool.
We now jump to Buster.
Firebolt the witch. I say, I had a vision of this. Smote in flame. This mote I rain. With some divination behind it.
Okay.
Nat 20. And so
now,
that's...
do you get 5 feet away so you don't have disadvantage?
Don't you have advantage on prone creatures?
Oh, wait.
Well, if you're just using the divination, you shouldn't have to worry about it.
That's true.
It's a nat
because
20.
You just decide. Okay.
Yeah, no disadvantage
you can be
at
far
all.
away and
just nat 20, so it's going to be 4d10.
And I'm going to use my reaction to write that down in my epic poem.
Yep. There you go.
Okay. 19 fire damage.
19 fire damage. Whoo! She is not happy, not pleased. Her clothes are on fire. She's like kicking and screaming, trying to at least, as she's gagged and bound here. The ropes not burning away. They are very tight, right? These are good ropes here.
I think technically Firebolt can't burn anything that's worn. Or
And there you go.
It won't
Oh,
actually.
I need to roll for damage or for concentration.
Oh gosh, twice.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So what am I
For
doing?
protection against
10
good and evil.
or half the damage?
So the first one was half the damage. That was what,
24 damage, so it'll be 12 DC.
12 DC.
So you have to get a 12 Constitution saving throw.
Which, for some reason, I'm not proficient in Constitution. It's going to be... Oh, that'll work, though. That's a 14, so...
Okay, so then the second one you just have to get a 10.
I do not. My concentration drops. Oh, but I have inspiration from one of those silvery barbs one time.
Might as well use it.
It's true.
Yeah, all right. Let's give it a shot. Boom. Okay, that'll count. I have still protection from evil and good still up.
Oh, I'll give Ataraxia the inspiration from that last silvery barbs.
Oh, thank you.
All right, sounds good. We're all caught up. That was your action to do the Firebolt Buster. Anything else?
I would like to hop onto that rock.
Okay. There's a goat currently on a rock just south of Ataraxia, and as you scramble on top of it, the goat just looks at you, chewing on some grass, and just goes, ah, while this
Okay.
whole ordeal is happening. All right, you are about 10 feet up from the ground.
All right, that's it. That's it for me.
Ataraxia, your turn, sir.
All right. The first thing I should note is my epic poem is now rank 2.
Let's go.
Yeah. So for I just need to, whenever I collect a number of verses equal to the amount of people in my party, then it increases in rank. So I now have 8 verses, rank 2, and now the benefit I get is I can start giving people additional effects. Right now I only have epic courage, but essentially what this means is when I grant you a bardic inspiration, the minimum value is 2, and now I can choose to give you epic courage, meaning that as long as you are holding that bardic inspiration die, you have advantage on saving throws against effects that would frighten you.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
Yep, and then as it
very
continues to
good.
rank up, I'll get stuff like epic foresight, epic determination, etc., and I can choose which one to give.
Excellent.
Very cool.
So that's the first thing to note. Now for my action, I'm going to try and tiptoe all sneaky-like up behind this golem so that I can poke it very, very lightly on the leg or wherever and cast Bestow Curse.
Okay. Sounds good. You walk over to the golem about 15 feet from where you are, and you bestow curse upon it.
Yep, that is a DC 15 Wisdom save.
And it's damage immunities, yeah, and then condition immunities. It's not immune against curses, so DC 15 what?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
I'm hoping that this pile of metal isn't very wise.
Not the most wise, so we'll see here. Hiya! That's a 13.
There we go. Okay, so for the next minute, I've got concentration on this. While it's cursed, it has to make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each of its turns, and if it fails, it wastes its action that turn doing nothing.
Let's go! I think Ned and I, we actually talked about this curse, believe it or not, way back in Sneak Attack when
When Kelsey had
My
Bestow
wife,
Curse.
my wife used it all the time. Yeah,
and
it's
we
a
were
great
like,
spell.
that's such a good curse. And we're like, yeah, that's
When it
it's the
fails,
best
it
curse to
stinks,
use.
but when it succeeds, it's a
saves
shift. It's a
yeah.
tone shifter. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Kelsey.
Shout out to you. Seriously, as soon as we hit level 5, and I was like, I've got third level spells, I'm going to do what Kelsey did because that is so good.
But it
That's
aligns
such
with
a
your
good
character
thing.
so well, too, since you have
Yeah.
been cursed.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Okay, sounds good. So whenever I have to do anything as the gold golem, I have to roll first, right?
Yep, wisdom saving throw, or else the turn is wasted.
So cool.
All right, bonus action, Ataraxia.
Bonus action, healing word on Max.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, technically, I don't think you can do that because it's not a cantrip,
Oh, that's right, because not a cantrip. Okay.
Yeah, yep,
bonus
yep.
action. I've only got one bardic inspiration left for the day, but I feel like Max could use it.
What do you do? What do you say?
Yeah, I have come up behind the golem and I've just like poked it gently to try and not be noticed, but then I like peek between its legs and I look up at Max and I just give him double thumbs up very enthusiastically.
Max is really, really wiped. He's like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. And what are the advantages I get again with this now?
Yeah, so it's a minimum value of 2 when you roll it, but as long as you're holding on to it, you have advantage against being frightened.
And now it's Griselda's turn. Ignis, as you're there trying to grapple her, you can't yet. She just looks at you, glares at you, and turns invisible.
But is the rope invisible, too?
Everything on the person.
Yes, because she's wearing the rope right now.
But invisible doesn't mean that she's moved.
Okay,
Where's the zone of truth when we need it?
right.
Fairy
Or
fire.
fairy fire would be nice, but I'm already concentrating on the curse on this golem.
Right.
Yes,
right.
that's much better.
Yeah. That is going to be all you hear from Griselda right now. We now go to the top of the round, and Ignis, it is your turn.
Because I'm right there, I would have, if she had moved out of my range, first, like, technically out of my range, I would have attack of opportunity, right? Even though she's invisible, because I was grappling with her.
Well, normally you would if she wasn't technically grappled by you, right? Grappled, yes, you would have had to break out of it. But
Right.
hags actually have a very specific ability with the invisibility. It's called Invisible Passage, where when she turns invisible, she leaves no physical evidence of her passage. So even trying to and this is straight from the Monster Manual, and so it says the only way she can be tracked is by magic itself. So you being like, oh, I could feel her. The way I interpret that is no, because it specifically calls it out in the Monster Manual that you wouldn't be able to feel her move or go right now.
Does Buster still have Detect Magic up?
No, it's only 10 minutes. I'd have to cast it again.
And then DM's discretion, did we say that she had the restrained condition because her speed becomes 0? So she wouldn't be able to move. DM's discretion, because we did tie her up.
Yeah.
That is a good call out. Okay, so this is what happened then. I did roll to see if she could get out of the restraints. So Ignis, what you do see is that she did break out of one of the restraints, like one of the ropes
The
is on the
ropes
ground.
become, yeah.
Yeah, so the ropes are now off of her, and so you see ropes on the ground, and you can't discern where she is right now.
Reaching forward in the air, I can't feel her.
I would say, yeah, if she were right there, I would say you could feel her. She is not there right now.
Okay.
She has moved, but good call out on the restraint thing.
And one finicky crunch thing that I just pulled up is opportunity attacks. You have to be able to see the creature when it moves out of your reach.
Ooh, good call, good call, good call.
Tight. All right, Ignis, now that I've thrown that complication into here, what you gonna do?
Something stupid, I'm sure.
Do you happen to have a can of paint in your inventory?
Oddly, on this adventure, I don't. But do you know what I do have? A lot of innocent goats standing around.
Go blood.
Are you gonna just decapitate a goat and start just like spinning to spray the blood everywhere?
Oh my gosh, guys.
Max is still fighting for his life. Like the golem's cursed, but
That's true.
So, because...
Oh my gosh. Talk about an evil character.
That is your alignment.
Oh my gosh.
Ignis will draw from her side her rapier, and we'll take a 5-foot step next to this goat. Ooh, both of them right next to me. I love it. That was very nice of you, DM. Look at all of the goats he just moved around. Oh, I did gather 3. You're right. I have 3 of them.
You did gather 3 goats, didn't you?
Great.
She's gonna go
sure
straight
did.
up Old Testament on this thing.
Sacrifice.
An offering to Rolterra.
Let's move forward with this. Yeah, let's keep going.
With a single swipe of her sword, taking up both of her attacks to cleave through, she will try to start beheading and using the blood from the sword and whipping it around. Both seeing if it could land on her if she's invisible, because I don't have fairy fire and I don't have magic, but also perhaps antagonizing the hag to attack me or to come back or to avenge the goats. And as she finishes throwing around the blood and killing the 3 goats, thank you for not making me roll, I appreciate it. She's just going to look over at the golem where her teammates are, and she'll reach through time and find a thread where she can find the most menacing version of herself, which happens to be a paladin, and she'll pluck that string, and as that the sound of the string reverberates through the material plane, warping into existence will be Ignis that's in full red plate, and she has this gold circlet around her head, and she'll appear right south of the golem just to give him another target, and she will that was her bonus action to manifest the echo, and then my actions were to do that.
Yep. Okay. Great.
Any hits from splashing the blood around?
I rolled a percentile, and unfortunately, no. So you're not able to pick up on that. You hear a growl, though.
Disgusting creature!
But it echoes through the meadow, so it's not a distinct source right now. But you have angered her. We jump to Max. You got a golem right in front of you, but your buddies are right there with you, Max.
We're flanking.
What do you do? What do you do?
I do? Oh boy. Ataraxia is right behind this thing, and Ignis is right next to
So
me.
you got a flanking
Or no,
bonus.
who's
for
right
melee.
next to me?
Yeah, that's the echo of the red-plated echo of Ignis, the shadow.
Do those things get hurt? I forgot.
They technically have 1 hit point, but I can summon them endlessly as a bonus action.
Oh. Okay. Max, realizing the direness of the situation with this golem, he's going to go to, so I am across the way from, like, me and the captain are on opposite sides. I'm going to go to the side that doesn't have an occupancy yet, so up to the north of this golem, still in its range. And Max is just like, he's really hurt. He's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta take care of this thing. And he's going to release his breath attack weapon. Bonus action, Slayer's Prey as well.
Great, sounds good. It's a save, or do you have to hit?
Yes, it's a dex save.
Okay. Dex save. That is a 19.
Ooh, that saves. That saves. Then it's going to take half damage.
All right.
Okay, 2d10. Alrighty, 2d10. Where's my other d10? There we go. Oh, and 2d10 and half of that, but plus a 6, right? Yes, plus, or no, with a weapon attack. Is this a weapon? Yeah, breath weapon. Yeah, there's a weapon attack. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no pluses to it. Yeah. 17 halved is, what is that, 8?
8.
Yeah, because 8
Yep.
plus 8 is 16. So 8, but then also add a d6. That's not halved. That's 10. 10 damage.
10 damage total. And this is all magical, so it goes all the way through. Great. Good turn. And you have an action yet, or was that the breath weapon?
That was breath weapon. That was an attack action.
And then you did your bonus for the extra attack, extra damage.
Yeah.
Any other movement?
Well, I get 2 attacks, so after he sees that, he's going to go, okay. He's going to do it again.
Okay.
Because I get to use it a number of times as my proficiency. So
It's a failure.
okay, so takes the full
You got an 8.
2d10. No plus 6, though, for this one.
That's correct.
That one is going to be a 11 damage.
Okay. Very nice. Okay. Good. And that's going to be Max's turn. It's now the Golden Armor's turn. It sees Max blasting it.
I think in that 15-foot cone, it also... By the way, sorry to interrupt, Thomas. I apologize. I think the lieutenant's thing is gone.
We can have you pivot within range to where you don't get her lieutenant, if that's all right with you.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to try and target you, Max.
It's going to roll first because of
It
the
didn't
curse.
like that you just blast, but yes, it's going to roll first. It's a 15 wisdom. Is that right?
Yep.
Here we go. Rolled a 16.
Silvery barbs.
Here we go. Yeah. 12.
Okay. That advantage is going to Max.
There you go, Max.
There you go. Could I use Bardic Inspiration to add to the attack?
Just
to
see
the
if it
attack
hits,
roll, but not to the damage.
The hit. Yep. Okay. I get an inspiration.
All right. Well, that is the golden golem's turn, and it goes, and its face changes to like the squiggly lines that the peanuts do whenever they're confused. Just the side, the S, right? And that's gonna be the gold golem there. And Buster, it's your go. You're next to a goat on top of a on top of a rock,
Yep.
and the goat goes, bah!
Okay, I have very few spell slots left. I'm torn between 2 things. I'm torn between just using Arms of Hadar to keep myself protected in case she's decided to come at me. But I think what I'm gonna do instead, with an offhand attack, so like no additional damage, I'm just gonna swing my staff around to see if she's on the rock with me. So that's just like a regular, it's +2 to hit, which is a 16, swinging it around me just to see if there's somebody up here on the rock with me, because I don't want her to be up here. But then for my primary action, that was just I think a bonus action. For my main action, I'm going to ready detect magic for Ignis right before Ignis's turn. So I'm going to ready the detect magic spell and cast it just before Ignis is ready to attack, so that I can hopefully identify where invisibility is being used.
I see. Okay, sounds good. Great. You don't feel her around you.
Yep, and that's it for me.
So you're like, okay, sounds good, but you are readying.
And I'll say,
magic.
Ignis, I'm gonna try and find her.
Ignis is standing there with her bloody rapier going,
Yes, Jacob?
Real quick. I just reread it. Breath weapon, it says you can replace one of your attacks. So I couldn't do it twice.
Okay.
I rolled, though, just while we were sitting here, and my attack was a 23 to hit. And I rolled the damage of if I was using my crossbow.
Yep, give it to me.
And it was the same exact damage.
Well, there we go.
It was 11. So, but I just wanted to clarify that just for our sake, that I can only use that once for an attack.
All right, thanks. Great. Ataraxia, your turn, dude.
Okay, so first things first, I need to make sure I don't get hit by this golem because I feel not good about my chance of keeping the bestow curse up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bonus action for my once daily free Misty Step.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, I'm going to Misty Step over to one of the dead goats.
Okay.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the dead goat and climb up to the top of the rock.
Okay.
And now I'm going to start spinning. I'm going to hold it by the hind legs and start spinning
Oh my gosh.
And as I'm
You
spinning,
strive to be family friendly.
And I was the evil character.
hey, you're the one who killed the goat. I'm just using the prop now that it's here.
The resources.
Yeah, I'm
Using
going
the
to,
resources.
now I'm going to use my mirthful leap to jump into the air so I can get as much coverage as I can with the blood
Unreal!
spraying out of this goat.
Okay. Okay, so this is
Surprisingly, this isn't like the first decapitated goat we've had on the show.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's true. I'm literally holding one still right now.
Okay, so you're 10 feet up. How high can you jump in the air?
So a standing high jump, I believe, is equal to a quarter of your strength score, which is 2 feet. But with my mirthful leap, that's an additional 7 feet. So I just jumped 9 feet straight up into the air off the top of this rock.
So about 20 feet into
crap.
the air as you
And
are...
and like as I'm spinning, I'm also moving the goat's body up and down. So I'm getting like a zigzag spray, trying to get as much coverage as I can. And I'm just like, sorry, Buster.
Yeah, Buster, you're covered, by the way.
Great.
You were just
Great.
covered. And the other goat right next to Buster doesn't seem to notice, just keeps chewing and goes, rat. I'm trying to think of how far liquid would travel.
Math is just streaming
It's just like
past Thomas's face.
it's a radius.
velocity
It's a
of
radius check,
liquid.
right? Like it's if she's in the
Yeah.
radius.
I would have to say probably if I just were, this is not great math, but if you were on the ground and just spun as hard as you could, it probably would go 5 feet farther than what you were doing, right? So 10 feet. So I have to say, if you're in the air and there's no obstruction, I'm going to say another additional, I'm going to say 30 feet, just for my broken math that I've got in this situation I never thought I'd find myself in ever.
30-foot radius in all directions.
In all directions. Well, as that happens, guess who happens to be within 30 feet of you?
Everybody.
Every single
Everybody.
person. Including Griselda.
Hey,
And she is
Oh,
now
boy.
visible.
Bloodily.
Not visible, but she's got speckled liquid all over her by the door of her house.
Okay.
Now,
Ooh,
I believe
boy.
that was your whole turn, right, Ataraxia?
Yep. Bonus action movement.
Okay. It's her turn, and she's going to, seeing that she has been sprayed and revealed, she's going to rush forward to... Ooh.
wasted turn.
Sorry, Buster.
You should have warned me.
You
That's
should
all right.
have warned me you were
Disgusting
going to use the
creature.
goat's blood.
She is going to unleash a vicious mockery against Ignis. So, Ignis, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
If you insist. Wisdom. Oh, that's not good. A -1 to it, so it's only a 17. Okay.
Well, that saves.
Never know the witch.
Yeah, that's true. And so she says,
You know, with such disgusting locks, I don't understand how you don't have hummingbirds flying all around you.
and it's not really anything mockery-wise. You're like, oh, okay. And so you feel magic like pulse into you, but doesn't do anything. And she is fully visible now because she has cast a spell. And she is going to start ducking into her house. She's not fully into her home, though. She's just like in the doorway. And that is her turn. What is going to happen with this gold golem? Is the curse going to stay up? Are there more goats that are going to suffer due to the selfishness of this hag? Are there going to be more insults about Ignis's beauty? Find out next time on I Cast Fireball.
Oh boy.
Just want to keep playing. I just
Oh,
want to keep
boy.
going. I know it's late.
I am glad I
We
didn't cast
wish-
Arms of Hayden
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
Now listen, a scout is thrifty. I was just using the resources I had at hand.
Scout is thrifty.
Yep, boy.
That's a scout is thrifty.
The
Yeah.
scout is thrifty.
Oh man.
He's also honest and pure.
No, listen, pure is not part of the scout law.
That's true.
I don't know. I wasn't
Reverent
a scout.
is
Oh,
part of the
reverent.
scout
That's what it
law.
was, not pure.
I think every time we fight a wizard, we should bring a fresh goat.
Well, on that note,
Goats on
Jacob,
hand.
Josh, Mickey, and Ned, thank you so much for playing. And listeners, thank you. Really, thank you for listening to this week's episode of ICF. If you like what you're hearing, you can leave us a message at icastfireball2020@gmail.com. We have Dragun shot us an email, and they said that they are from the Texas Panhandle, wanted to reach out and just talk about how much they've been enjoying binging through ICF here. They said they were able to get through season 1 where some of the moments had them in tears. They had us in tears, quite certainly a good decent amount of times near the end there. And that they were a little hesitant about season 2, but that they're enjoying season 2 just as much as season 1. Dragun, thank you so much for joining us, and not just quitting after season 1, for jumping along into the crazy adventure that is Ataraxia the Captain, dude. And if you want to get shouted out on another week's episode, you can shoot us a message or leave us a 5-star review at the podcatcher of your choice, or reach out to us on social media. Surprisingly to us, YouTube is probably the most engagement we get through ICF for a audio-only podcast. So if you want to reach out, you can comment on some of those other episodes, or of course Spotify. You can leave a comment and post on certain episodes as well, and start talking with some other fans. We want to shout out another podcast though, Improv Tabletop. They've got super duper fun 1-month mini adventures that they've got over there. Some of my favorites have been Transformer Rejects, and yes, one of the favorites is because I was in that one and it was just delightful fun, and I discovered what the plot of the Brave Little Toaster 3 was all about. So if you don't know what the plot of Brave Little Toaster 3 is all about, go listen to Transformer Rejects. Don't go watch the movie. Go listen to that, and you will discover all of that there. And don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon.
Maximus Shans.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Buster Bilgewater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.